Let's start by trying to remember what we already know about the past. We know that to say I did something, our key sounds are e and I. So for example, hablé, I spoke or I talked, and comí, I ate. We also learnt some irregular ones that didn't have accents at all. So we learnt how to say tuve and pude, and we learnt quise and hice, and we also learnt fui, I went. Okay, now we're going to learn how to say he, she, or it did something. And these are the key sounds you need to remember. O and I-o. O and I-o. So that's O with an accent, O, and I-o with an accent, I-o. So he spoke is habló, H-A-B-L-O with an accent. He or she ate, comió, C-O-M-I-O with an accent. So how would we say he bought it yesterday? He bought it yesterday. Lo compró ayer. Lo compró ayer. How would you say she helped me? She helped me. Me ayudó. Me ayudó. What about he didn't eat much? He didn't eat much. No comió mucho. No comió mucho. And what about he spoke about the house, or he talked about the house? And the word for about is sobre, S-O-B-R-E, sobre, about. So he spoke about the house. Habló sobre la casa. Habló sobre la casa. We know that I had is irregular in Spanish, as it is in English, and I had is tuve, and we know that I did or I made is hice. And if we want to say this in he, she, or it, so he had, it's tuvo, and if it's he could, it's pudo. So tuvo and pudo, T-U-V-O, tuvo, he, she, it had, pudo, P-U-D-O, he, she, it could, or was able to. How would you say he couldn't see me yesterday? He couldn't see me yesterday. No pudo verme ayer. No pudo verme ayer. What about I wasn't hungry? No tuve hambre. No tuve hambre. But what would it be for he wasn't hungry? No tuvo hambre. No tuvo hambre. So tuvo and pudo. And then for the other two, which were similar, which was I did, hice, and I wanted, quise, it works in a similar way. So he did, hizo. Just remember that when it's he, she, or it, Hizo is spelt with a Z, otherwise it would be pronounced Ico if it was I-C-O. So it's H-I-Z-O, hizo, he or she or it did, and quiso, Q-U-I-S-O, he, she, it wanted. So how would you say he did what he could? Remember what in the middle of a sentence? Hizo lo que pudo. Hizo lo que pudo. What about he didn't want to come with me? He didn't want to come with me. No quiso venir conmigo. No quiso venir conmigo. What was it for I went? Fui. Fui. He or she went is fue. F-U-E. Fue. He or she went. How would we say, she went to Madrid yesterday. She's going to return tomorrow. She went to Madrid yesterday. She's going to return tomorrow. Fue a Madrid ayer. Va a volver mañana. Fue a Madrid ayer. Va a volver mañana. What about I went to Liverpool, but he went to London? Fui a Liverpool, pero él fue a Londres. Fui a Liverpool, pero él fue a Londres. Now we don't usually add in the word for he or I or whoever the person is because the verb ending tells us that. But we do in this case because we're emphasizing a contrast, like I did this, but he, in the same way as in English we emphasize the word he did something different. And the word for he is E with an accent and L, so it's L. How would we say he went to Spain because he wanted to learn Spanish? He went to Spain because he wanted to learn Spanish. And here we don't need to say he or él because there's no contrast and there's no emphasis. So he went to Spain because he wanted to learn Spanish. Fue a España porque quiso aprender español. Fue a España porque quiso aprender español. So, fue, he, she, it went. Now, coincidentally, fue is also the past of es. So, for example, es aburrido, it's boring, or es bonito, it's nice. In the past, to say it was is fue, F-U-E. So the same word as for he or she went. It's it was. So, fue aburrido, it was boring. How do we say I did it, but it wasn't easy? I did it, but it wasn't easy. And easy, the word for easy is fácil. F-A-C-I-L. Fácil. So I did it, but it wasn't easy. Lo hice, pero no fue fácil. Lo hice, pero no fue fácil. What about, it was something that I could do. It was something that I could do. Fue algo que pude hacer. Fue algo que pude hacer. And if you wanted to have some emphasis there and say it was something that I could do, with that special emphasis on I, then we could do the same in Spanish and actually use the word for I, yo. Y-O, yo. We don't normally use it, but if we wanted some extra emphasis, we could say fue algo que yo pude hacer, that I could do. What about it was fun? It was fun. And the word for fun is divertido. Divertido. It's all part of the same word for diversión, or a diversion, as in entertainment. So divertido, fun. D-I-V-E-R-T-I-D-O. So how do we say it was fun? Fue divertido. Fue divertido. Now, a lot of words that end in E-N-C-E in Spanish, like difference, are similar in Spanish. So, difference in Spanish is diferencia, spelt the same, but of course just with one F, and E-N-C-I-A, diferencia. How would you say there is a difference? Hay una diferencia. Hay una diferencia. What about it was a new experience for me? It was a new experience for me. And remember, you're going to be saying it was an experience new for me. Fue una experiencia nueva para mí. Fue una experiencia nueva para mí. And of course, nueva has to end in A, so that it agrees with the feminine of experiencia. So, fue una experiencia nueva para mí. How would we say he went to Spain for a conference? Fue a España para una conferencia. Fue a España para una conferencia. Okay, what about this one? The conference was about the existence of God. The conference was about the existence of God. And the word for God is Dios. Dios. D-I-O-S. Dios, God. And that's where we get adios. So the conference was about the existence of God. La conferencia fue sobre la existencia de Dios. La conferencia fue sobre la existencia de Dios.